Wolverine is one of the most popular characters in Marvel. Check out any top 10 powerful X-Men video on YouTube, and you can be assured that somewhere in the comments section you'll see "Where's Wolverine?". Many fans believe that Wolverine is not only one of the most powerful X-Men, but also that he can't be killed. But this may not be entirely true. In Days of Future Past, we see a Sentinel incinerate a future version of Wolverine with a single energy blast. In Enemy of the State, Wolverine is killed by Kitty Pryde phasing into his skull and destroying his brain. But since those were alternate realities, let's assume the real Wolverine can't be killed using those methods. The biggest problem is that the comics have gone crazy with his powers. It's not enough that he can heal quickly. Wolverine heals so fast and completely that it's like he's not damaged at all. It's not enough that he has a reinforced skeleton. He has a skeleton that simply cannot be damaged in any way. They've basically made him indestructible, but have gone way beyond logic and consistency. The best example being the Uncanny X-Men Annual Issue 11, where Wolverine grows his entire body back from a single drop of blood. That's why we're setting some ground rules. Wolverine has to follow the basic laws of physics and biology. His defenses are an allegedly indestructible adamantium skeleton and rapid healing. Other than that, he's a normal human being with the same weaknesses like everyone else. If you stab Wolverine, the knife will puncture his flesh like anyone else. So let's explore 6 possible ways Wolverine could be killed. Number 1. Drown him. Wolverine admitted that drowning is one way to kill him in Wolverine Volume 2 Issue 20 during a fight with Tiger Shark, and he said the same thing again in Weapon X, The Adamantium Men. I guess you could lock Wolverine in a tank of water or chuck him into the ocean chained up. Even with his healing and adamantium bones, Wolverine is still a human with internal organs like lungs. Lungs can't heal a lack of oxygen. His body would try to heal the dying cells, but the new cells would also die of oxygen starvation. Deprived of oxygen, Wolverine's brain would shut down in minutes. Can Wolverine's brain repair itself? Possibly. So let's add the cardiac arrest that would follow from the increased stress on his heart. With his brain dead, lungs starved, and his heart no longer pumping blood, his body would be dead. His healing factor can't work after death. If it does, then it's not healing, it's magic. Number 2. Incinerate him. The next easiest way to kill Wolverine would be to subject him to extreme heat and incinerate him. Some fans have tried to debunk this idea by pointing to the fact that Wolverine survived a nuclear blast many times in the comics. In Venom Issue 9, Wolverine completely heals from a nuclear bomb blast that destroys a village. The same thing happens in Ultimate Wolverine vs. Hulk. Yet, those comics can't be canon. They make no sense. Wolverine heals quickly, but he's not immune to heat or radiation. The extreme heat of a nuke would incinerate his flesh, and the radiation would penetrate his adamantium bones to destroy his bone marrow, all within a fraction of a second. Before Wolverine could even blink, he would be nothing but a pile of metal bones. With nothing to regenerate, Wolverine would surely be dead. Number 3. Starve him. This is another idea based on the fact that Wolverine still has internal organs that have to function. Again, you can't heal not having food. This is apparently a controversial topic, because in one comic, Wolverine survived starvation by eating himself. That's impossible. It's the law of conservation. Wolverine can't take in more energy from his body than he puts into it. The energy gained from his own flesh would be negated by the energy being consumed by his rapid healing. There's also the fact that matter cannot be created or destroyed. Where would Wolverine get the extra mass to create new cells if he's eating the old ones? Eventually, Wolverine runs out of energy and his healing factor weakens to the point where it stops working and he dies. Okay, so that's pretty grim. Let's talk about something easier to stomach, like Number 4. Cut off his head. Professor Xavier himself suggested decapitation, and who's gonna argue with him? Of course, the problem with cutting off his head is Wolverine's adamantium spine. But there is one gaping flaw in his structure, the joints. Wolverine doesn't have a solid metal spine, otherwise he wouldn't be able to bend over or turn his head. The joints connecting Wolverine's vertebrae have to be soft tissue, so any sharp blade could cut between the vertebrae and sever his head. Then all you need to do is keep his head away from his body. Without his head, Wolverine's body can't function, and he can't grow a new head. Wolverine's a healer, not a starfish. Without his body, Wolverine's head has no lungs to breathe. Let's be generous and give him 5 minutes for his brain to die from a lack of oxygen. Yes, in Ultimate Wolverine vs. Hulk, they cut off his head and he survives, but it makes no sense that he's able to breathe with no lungs. So let's just say that wasn't canon and move on. Number 5. Acid. So we know that Wolverine has an indestructible adamantium skeleton, but what about the flesh and organs in between? Yes, we know he can heal rapidly, but what if you were to place Wolverine in a bath of acid? Surely his healing factor would struggle to keep up with the erosion caused by the acid. There are no references to this in comics as far as I know, but still an interesting method to consider. And number 6. Stop his healing factor. The healing factor is the big thing everyone points to for the invulnerability of Wolverine. It means that there's presumably nothing you can do to him that can't be fixed in minutes or even seconds. In the comics, he's been reduced to bones and grown back, so let's take his healing factor away. In X-Men issue 5, Cyclops injected Wolverine with microscopic robots that shut off his healing factor. That's one method, but you can also expose him to a radioactive material like carbonadium that weakens his healing, or expose him to a power-cancelling mutant like Leech, or cut him with the Muramasa blade that negates healing, or just subject him to so much damage for such a long period of time that his healing can't keep up and he burns out. Without his healing factor, a penknife could take him out. So that's it. Those are 6 possible ways to kill Wolverine. If you can think of any other gruesome methods, please leave a comment below. And as usual, check out the store, subscribe, share, and I'll let Yoda take the mic.
Hit the like button, you must. Yes.